Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mel, and welcome back to Mel Got Game, where I bring you top plays, top sports news, and some of my personal opinion regarding everything going on in sports today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Real quick, just want to say thank you to everybody for showing all the love and support on that last video and my last YouTube short. My last video just hit 1,000 views, so I'm very excited about that. And I just want to welcome all the new subscribers I have gotten over this past week. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Hope you guys are enjoying my content. If there's anything else you guys want to see on the channel, please just let me know down in the comment section below. We are currently 11 subscribers away from hitting 400 at the time of recording this video. Might change by the time this video goes up, I don't know. But yeah, guys, help me hit this 400. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell everybody, come over and subscribe to Mel Got Game, okay?
A sandwich filled with jellyfish jelly. Hey man, you got to try this sandwich. It's no ordinary sandwich. It's the tastiest sandwich in the sea. Skibbity beat about the boot about a daddy now, yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. We are going to be talking about the draft again today. It's been a little bit over a week since the draft ended, and boy, was it a crazy one. The first round was just really all over the place, dude. I mean, we had Bryce Young go to the Panthers first overall. I think we kind of knew that already. But then the Texans came in and just shocked the world. They drafted CJ Stroud with the 2nd overall pick and then traded up to draft Will Anderson with the 3rd overall pick. I mean, they might actually be a contender this year. And then the Colts actually selected Anthony Richardson, which I don't think a lot of people expected. And then poor Will Levis fell out of the first round, but I do think a lot of people kind of expected that. And also, the Philadelphia Eagles must have a camp set up outside of Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia, because they selected 5 defensive players, 3 were from Georgia. And they just added to a defense that already had Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis, who were also on that 2021 UGA championship team. And along with the Eagles, some other teams actually got noticeably better in this draft and could potentially become real contenders next season. While I don't have time to go in depth about every team's draft class this season, we are, however, going to analyze one specific draft class, and you know we got to make it about the Atlanta Falcons. Now, one thing is for sure about the Falcons draft is that they surprised a lot of people. I mean, all of Atlanta was pretty much thrown off. And I'm gonna get into the specifics about each pick in a minute, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the way I had pictured this draft in my head going, it went the complete opposite. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all that it didn't go the way I was thinking it was going to, but time will tell if these picks are gonna be fruitful for us in the long run. But that is enough talk, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this 2023 Atlanta Falcons draft class. Alrighty now, so for the first pick that the Falcons had in this draft, they decided to select the most versatile back in college football last year, Bijon Robinson, from the University of Texas at 8 overall. And oh my God, let me tell you, this pick right here had everybody divided. I mean, probably more than the Lil Baby and Gunna debate, okay? I mean, it probably even divided us more than the hot wings and lemon pepper debate. I mean, this pick was really controversial among Atlanta fans. And when it happened, it just seems like there was an overwhelming amount of people that just absolutely despised the pick for various reasons. Many people wanted and expected us to go defense, with people varying around if they wanted a D lineman, inside or outside, or a cornerback. While others thought we might trade down a little bit and get another fast receiver to pair with Drake London. And then there was the group that really didn't care where we went as long as it wasn't another running back. Now, me personally, I pretty much took the stance of all 3. I really did not understand this pick, with the most important reason being that we just have too many running backs already. Before drafting Bijon, we had Cordell Patterson, who has become the best utility player in the league, and he proved to be a really good running back. You can use him just about anywhere on the field, and he gonna pick up some really good yards for you. We have Tyler Algier, who surprised a lot of people in his rookie season as he went over 1,000 yards. And then we have Caleb Huntley and Avery Williams, 2 solid backs that you can rely to get some solid production off the bench. So for one, I really didn't agree with bloating our backfield even more than it already was. And then number 2, I think defense was just a bigger priority than going offense. I mean, for the most part, I think our offense is pretty solid the way it is, and at most, I think I would have just wanted another receiver to pair with London. And while we did make some solid additions in the offseason to the defense, our front 7 is still weak in some areas, and in my opinion, I think we missed a golden opportunity to strengthen it with a top 10 pick. And with our running game in 2022 being 3rd in the league in rushing, I just didn't see a need to draft another running back. Now that is my personal opinion, but however, after having some debates and discussions with my friends and seeing some other people's opinions, I do see a lot of positives in this pick and how it could benefit us next year. First off, Bijon is a generational talent. There is no denying that. Experts have said that he is the best running back to come out of the league since Saquon Barkley in 2018. And I do think the conversation was probably, hey, do we rather have this guy on our team or do we risk having him on somebody else's team and him standing in the way of us getting to the Super Bowl? And I think they were looking at us potentially having the best and most unstoppable rushing attack next season and possibly being close or even over 3,000 yards as a backfield. And while we were number 3 in rushing last year, so there isn't a lot of room for improvement in terms of actual ranking, drafting Bijon could definitely be beneficial for that run-heavy attack that we like to have, especially in the second half of games when we're really trying to wear down the opponent and squeeze out those wins. Another positive I do think will come out of this is the improvement of Desmond Ridder as a passer because of Bijon's versatility as a dual threat back. In college, he came just 106 yards short of a 2,000 all-purpose yard season, showing us just how dominant he can be in all areas of the game. In college, he really reminded me of that Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler type back, but also having the ability to run like Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, or Jonathan Taylor. Because of Ridder's immaturity as a quarterback, he's going to need a safety valve out of the backfield when nothing else is open, and that could really boost his confidence and his decision making, especially with Algier being more of a power rusher and Cordell Patterson getting a little bit older and potentially losing that burst we've usually seen. So like I said, initially I was just perplexed and confused at this pick, and right now I still do think we should have went a different route, but after having some time to think it over, I do see the positives in this pick, and I'm excited to see how it benefits our offense. Next on the list for our second round pick, we drafted Matthew Bergeron, offensive lineman from Syracuse, and we actually traded up to draft him as well, initially holding the 44th pick and then trading up to get the 38th. And much like our first round pick, a lot of people were yet again confused because a big reason why we had the number 3 rushing attack in the league was because of our offensive line. That was actually surprisingly good in 2022, with many experts ranking our O-line in the top 10, with the placing varying around from 7th to 8th place in the league. And like I said, because of our surprising O-line performance, our rushing attack was among the best in the league. And at this point, a lot of people were real furious that we had not won defense yet, and I can't lie, I had my reservations too. But then I just thought, hey, you know what? It does kind of make sense with the Falcons' strategy of just pouring all of our resources into our rushing attack. And honestly, what really impressed me the most about Bergeron in college is that he has some versatility as a blocker, as he started 39 games at both right and left tackle, showing that he can provide some protection from different angles if needed. And with the second team all ACC selection last season, it's clear that Bergeron was among the top linemen in the ACC. And for our projected starting lineup, Bergeron will be starting at left guard with Matt Hennessy as his backup. So it'll be interesting to see if that flexibility carries over to the NFL for Bergeron. And I honestly think he'll fit right into our offensive line and be a dominant force, especially with Chris Lindstrom on the other side. So yeah, this selection really just fuels the narrative of us being a heavy run team next season. Next, for our third round pick, we drafted Zach Harrison, defensive lineman out of Ohio State. And man, when I heard the news, I was like, finally! Holy crap, it took y'all long enough. I was so excited that they finally did what the fans asked for and drafted an edge. They finally got some help from my boy Grady Jarrett on the D-line. Because I mean, dude, we haven't had a dominant edge rushing attack since Vic Beasley's 2016 season, which was also the season we went to the Super Bowl. And in that season, he had 15 and a half sacks along with 6 forced fumbles. So I think you can understand the correlation between a really good edge rusher and a deep playoff run. I mean, since then, the Falcons just haven't had a player that can get in the backfield consistently, shut down the run, and put pressure on the quarterback. And I'm hoping that this trend will soon change with the selection of Zach Harrison. I personally have always been a fan of just real big, tall edges that look so scary when they put on them pads. And that's exactly what Harrison is, standing 6'6", 272 pounds. I mean, this man is a monster. He was a Big Ten first team all selection last season, as well as being selected to Big Ten second team in 2020 and 2021. And by this selection, you can obviously tell that Harrison was one of the most feared edges in the conference. He's really good at stopping the run, as he improved every year in tackles for loss, finishing his senior year with 8 tackles for loss in total. He also totaled 34 tackles in 13 games along with 3.5 sacks. Me personally, I'm hoping that he can get those sack numbers up in the NFL, because that is something that we need moving forward. and he already has the speed to beat offensive linemen off the snap, as he ran a 4.47 40 at the combine. By adding Harrison along with our defensive offseason and free agent additions, I think our bottom 10 defensive ranking from last year will definitely be higher this year. Now, I'm not gonna say top 10 right now, I'm definitely hoping for that, but I think a more realistic estimate will be around top 15, right in the middle of the league. Our next pick came in round 4 where we selected Clark Phillips III, cornerback out of Utah. And coming out of college, this guy was one of my favorite cornerbacks for sure. Not only was he a unanimous All-American in 2022, as well as being selected to the first team All-Pac, but he also was awarded Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in his junior season for his performance, coming away with 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 6 interceptions, and 6 pass deflections. Along with his accolades in 2022, he also received all Pac-12 second team honors in 2021. I mean, it's just baffling to me how Phillips even slipped out of the first, second, and third round. And my theory is that teams probably just didn't want to take a chance on him being undersized as a corner, standing only 5'9" and 184 pounds. But what he does lack in height, he makes up for in speed, as he ran a 4.51 40 time in the combine. His technique and reaction time excelled him to be the best cornerback in the Pac-12 and among the best in the NCAA. And I have no doubt that he can play outside cornerback in the NFL, but me personally, I think what will really be good for his development is rotating him in and out at slot corner, especially with him being undersized, which would allow him to mostly live between 5 and 15 yards in coverage. But yeah, this pickup was really good for us, especially because our secondary really struggled against the pass last year, as they was in the bottom 8 in the league. And adding Phillips to our secondary along with our offseason additions, Jesse Bates and Jeff Okudah, I think is going to look pretty good for our secondary next season. All right, now moving into our 2 7th round picks. Now, our first pick was the Marco Helms safety out of Alabama. And honestly, I think this pick was yet another steal. Helms was a really good run support safety and great open field tackler at Alabama, coming away with 108 total tackles, 67 of them being solo. He also totaled 3 tackles for loss and 1 sack. He made his presence known in coverage as well, tallying 7 pass deflections and 1 interception, as well as 3 interceptions in 2021. Watching his tape, for me, it brings back that 2016 and 2017 Keanu Neal feel that I've been missing, and I think Atlanta has been missing in his defense. That hard-hitting, run-stuffing safety that ball handlers have to look out for when they hit that third level. And because of this, I think Helms can really take on a vital role in the Falcons defense, because right now, nobody in our secondary really provides what he does. Obviously, being in the 7th round, he will have to prove that he can carry that skill to the next level. But I have no doubt that he'll be able to work his way into the rotation, especially coming from a conference where the competition is already NFL ready. And then finally, for our last pick in this draft, we selected Javon Gwen, offensive lineman from South Carolina. And what really stands out to me from Gwen was that he started 47 consecutive games, tying him 2nd on the all-time list in school history. His consistency over his 4 years at South Carolina showed exactly how reliable he is, which is exactly what you want in an offensive lineman. Just like I said with Helms, Gwen will have to prove that he deserves a spot in this rotation being a 7th round pick, especially because our offensive line rotation is pretty much already set. But if he can show that he can provide some solid protection for our backfield, I think he'll see the field plenty. But guys, that is my analysis for the 2023 Falcons draft class. It was definitely an interesting draft, to say the least, with both positives and negatives. But ultimately, I do think it was a pretty good ending to this already strong offseason that we've had. Overall, I think we started off this offseason really good, and I think we finished good as well. And I'm really excited to see what this team will look like next season and what these rookies will bring to the table. The NFL is already making their 18-week game schedule, so when that drops, you know the Falcons 2023 record prediction video from yours truly will be dropping soon after that. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of my analysis for these draft picks, and which Falcons rookie are you most excited to see in action this season. With that being said, that is it for today's video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe this week. It's been your boy Mel, and I'ma see you next time on Mel Got Game. I'm out. Peace.